All right, we're going to do a little review on doing our bell ringers here in 8th grade industrial technology. This is something I had you do as 7th graders. In the 7th grade class, we were looking at principles of design and modeling through the Project Lead the Way curriculum. This year, we're going to be looking at lessons in automation and robotics, and this is going to be articulated with a high school class called Principles of Engineering, if you choose to take that as an elective, which is a fantastic course. It enables you to get some science credit as well as some experience in some pre-engineering activities, should you decide to study that later on in life. Our bell ringers are going to be based upon our purpose statement. Every day we will have a purpose statement for our lesson. That purpose statement might change daily or it might change weekly depending on what kind of lessons, projects, or activities that we have going on. Some of our larger activities, those might last 2 or 3 weeks and you might not see any big changes in the purpose statement. However, there's going to be a lot of vocabulary associated around that purpose statement that you would see on that board. From that purpose statement, I'm going to give you 2 vocabulary words. When I started doing this as strictly a middle school activity, I said 1 to 3. I kind of started out with 3 and then I backed down to 2. I found 2 to be a pretty good number, pretty good participation with that. I will give you the vocabulary words. They will be up on a slide, and then you are to email those back to me. So, for example, when you come to class, you might see a slide up on the board. Let me get an image up here. Something like that. We have engineering technology there. This kind of springboards us into our first unit, our first lesson, which is going to be a review of engineering technology and technology. You would have seen these terms last year. We talked quite a bit about those, but we will kind of revisit those. If I was to ask you right now, what is engineering, you might not give me the answer that I'm looking for off the top of your head. I'm sure you'd probably have to research that, and I'm sure if I asked everyone in here today what is technology, many of you would have different answers. So we're going to kind of look at these terms as our first bell ringers to make sure that we're all starting out on the same page. Now, the way that I'd want you to do this is in your Gmail, so I'm going to go back over to my Gmail here. When you have a Gmail open, you'll see that I have some messages there. I have one message. I have some other menus I can choose from, but I want to click on the Compose button. Some of you are very articulate with your email. This is second nature to you. Some folks don't use email a whole lot, and so we're going to have different skill levels with that. So let me expand this a little bit so that you can see it better. We'll start out with my email address. I'm going to be the recipient of this email. So my email address, tthompson19@gaps.bcsds.org. And actually, once you start typing it out, the computer gives you a suggested address, and you can just click on that. Now, I prefer that you title the subject bell ringer, and if you put today's date. Today, for me, is the 22nd, because I'm in here the day before school trying to polish up a few things, so I'm ready for you folks. And in there, I'm going to put my 2 bell ringers. I'm going to put in engineering. I'm hitting caps lock in a weird way. Let me fix that. I don't always pay attention to my typing. I don't have great typing skills because that wasn't predominant in my generation. I did not have computers in school when I was your age. So, engineering and technology, I know those look really small on the board right now. However, I think as long as you've got some good listening skills, you kind of got an understanding of what I'm getting at. All you need to do is come over to Google. Let's Google engineering. So I'll go ahead and type that in up there. It's running off the screen. Let me see if I can fix that. Hopefully that's better for you. So let's look for a simple definition. A few things come up. I just kind of want you to read into them just briefly. application of mathematics as well as scientific, economic, social, and practical knowledge to invent, innovate, design, build, maintain, research, and improve structures, machines, tools, systems, components, materials, processes, solutions, and organizations. This is in Wikipedia, which historically Wikipedia hasn't always been 100% accurate because there wasn't a lot of restraints on who could author information for Wikipedia, but it's gotten kind of better. And I know with my background, reading this example of engineering, this looks like a pretty good definition. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that. I'll hop back over to my email, my compose message. I'll come over here and I'll paste that right in there. That just kind of lets me know as an instructor that you've taken a moment to read a little bit about what engineering is. Now let's do the same with technology. So we'll go back to Google and we'll put in technology. Trying to look for a definition there. My guess is it's going to be Wikipedia again. Technology, knowledge of techniques, processes, and the like that can be embedded in machines to allow for the operation without detailed knowledge of their workings. The simplest form of technology is the development and use of basic tools. I'm just going to copy that last sentence because that's kind of what we're going to talk about in here. The simplest form of technology is the development and use of basic tools. So I go ahead and I will copy that. Back to my message here, and I will just paste that information in there. Didn't really look like it was formatted great, but I'm fine with that. So you can just go ahead and send that off. Engineering and technology. Engineering, application of math and science to solve problems is a simple definition. Technology, basic tools. Technology essentially is anything human-made. So we'll go ahead and send that in, and you'll check my inbox here, and there it is, a bell ringer from me. So I will keep those in a folder. Right now it's the beginning of the year. My bell ringer folder is empty, but what I'll do with that bell ringer folder is as those get compiled, I would search it with your individual name. It'll populate a list of all the bell ringers that you turn in. I do want to remind you, the same as last year, the bell ringers are your single highest grade. They will be graded at midterm, and new this year, they will be graded at trimester. So trimesters being 12 weeks long, you might not see your bell ringer in the grade book for 6 weeks. So if you're not staying on top of those, that's going to add up rather quickly. If you are in class for 30 days, that's 30 points after 6 weeks. At trimester, that's 60 points. I can't think of a single assignment off the top of my head that you're going to get 30 points from or 60 points from. So it is a significant chunk in your grade. You saw how quickly I could do it, so please be responsible. Get those turned in to me so that I can check your progress, make sure that you're tuned in for this. So good luck with your bell ringers.